What's going on, car family? I am Ben Wayne, coming back at you with another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 2015 Lamborghini Huracan. Now the Lamborghini Huracan is a very important car to Lamborghini because it replaces the Lamborghini Gallardo. And the Lamborghini Gallardo was responsible for nearly half of the company's sales since the company first started making cars in the first place. So this is a very important car to say the least. So today we're going to go over some of the exterior features and interior details and see how this ride has been engineered for excellence. So first things first, let's talk about the car's name. Huracan is Spanish for hurricane. This car is also referred to as the LP610-4. The LP meaning longitudinal posterior, which means the engine sits lengthwise in the rear of the car. The 610 is the car's metric horsepower rating. And then the -4 means the car is all-wheel drive. Had this been a two-wheel drive vehicle like the LP 580-2, it would have got a -2 at the end of the name. One of the first things you're going to notice about the exterior of the Lamborghini Huracan are its sharp lines. But within those sharp lines, it also incorporates the use of a lot of curves, which make it more visually stimulating to the eye than the previous generation Gallardo. Now this car is also designed to be extremely lightweight, so its structure is primarily composed of aluminum, but it does have a carbon fiber tunnel and a carbon fiber bulkhead for a weight reduction. Now the Lamborghini Huracan features quite a few features that allow this exotic car to be daily drivable. One of these key features is the electrical steering. The electrical steering in this car tightens up at speeds below 31 miles per hour for sharp handling around curves. Now at speeds greater than 62 miles per hour, the steering loosens up a little bit for increased stability. As I mentioned previously, the Lamborghini Huracan features an all-wheel drive system that can split the torque difference between 30% and 70% in the front and rear respectively. Now if conditions demand it, 50% of the power can be sent to the front wheels, or even 100% of the power can be sent to the rear wheels if conditions demand. Now this is handled by a wet multi-plate clutch system located at the front axle. Let's focus briefly on the suspension of the Lamborghini Huracan. The suspension is entirely composed of aluminum and has AA arms at each of the car's four corners. The suspension also incorporates the use of magnetorological shocks. Now, magnetorological shocks contain a fluid that is subject to a magnetic field, and when current is shot through that magnetic field, the fluid's viscosity is able to change, thus firming up the ride of the car. Let's talk a little bit about the wheels, tire, and brake setup of the Lamborghini Huracan. Up front, you're getting 20-inch wheels that have been wrapped in Pirelli P0s that are 245. Your brake rotors are carbon ceramics, 15 inches in diameter, and they are cross-drilled and internally ventilated and grasped by 6-piston calipers. Now in the rear, you're getting 20-inch wheels as well, except they're wrapped in Pirelli P0s that are 305. Your carbon ceramic brake rotor is going to be 14 inches in diameter and grasped by a 4-piston caliper. Let's focus briefly on the power plant of the Lamborghini Huracan. This is what makes this car so amazing. You're getting a 5.2-liter naturally aspirated V10 producing 602 horsepower at 8,250 RPM and 413 pound-feet of torque at 6,500 RPM. Now what is crazy is that 75% of that torque is available at just 1,000 RPM. Now this motor incorporates the use of a dry sump lubrication system. After all, this is a high-end exotic car which can be taken to the track. Now this motor is connected to a 7-speed dual clutch Lamborghini LDF transmission, which stands for Lamborghini Doppia Frizione. 0 to 60 times have been claimed as fast as 3.2 seconds by Lamborghini. Car and Driver has claimed 0 to 60 times as low as 2.5 seconds. That is quick. If you look closely inside the engine bay of the Lamborghini Huracan, you'll notice the cross bracing looks slightly off center. And that's because the 5.2-liter V10 has been placed slightly to the left. Now this is done to counteract the weight of the crankshaft. You'll notice this feature in many Lamborghinis. You'll also notice the Huracan's engine bay is carbon fiber, except it doesn't look like traditional carbon fiber weave. It's composed of a forged composite which was developed in alliance between Callaway Golf Company and Lamborghini. Now instead of traditionally using layers of carbon fiber weave and impregnating it with resin, this forged composite uses up to 500,000 intertwined turbostatic fibers per square inch, and then resin is impregnated in it and then squeezed out and used to create any shape. Now since the turbostatic fibers aren't just stacked linearly like a traditional carbon fiber sheet, the result is a part that's strong all around, not just in one direction. Now let's close the hood of the Huracan. and take a look at the interior. Now the interior of the Lamborghini Huracan just makes you feel like you're sitting in an F-22. Everything is just fighter jet inspired. So let's start with the top of the dash, which is covered in soft black leather and has stitching going the width of the vehicle. Look how you have these two air conditioning vents just coming straight out at you. Coming further down, you have a small display here that tells you your oil pressure, oil temperature, and battery voltage. You also have these nice metallic controls here for your windows and your hazards. Coming further back, you have controls for your air conditioning system. And here are buttons here to control your radio and infotainment system, which is located behind the steering wheel on the driver's side. Coming further down, again, fighter jet inspired. Pop this open, press start to start the V10 we talked about earlier. Coming further back, you have controls, reverse, park, manual, and then you also have a small storage compartment back here. Let's focus briefly on the steering wheel of the Lamborghini Huracan. It's race inspired, obviously. This is a high-end exotic car. You have two large panels here. The left paddle is to downshift and the right paddle is to upshift. Notice how all the controls here are located on the steering wheel. Again, this is a driver-focused car, so you really don't need to take your hands off the wheel for any reason. You have your turning signal controls here, headlight controls as well, and on the right side you have your controls for your windshield wipers. Coming further down on the steering wheel, you have Strata, which means street, Sport, and Corsa, which means race. These modes can alter the throttle, suspension, and transmission mapping depending on how you want to ride. If you want to just cruise on the street, you want to use Strata mode, but if you're taking it to the track, you really want to go on the Corsa mode. The steering wheel overall features heavy bolstering. It's really comfortable and your hands just fit naturally in here. And again, it's wrapped in smooth leather with black stitching throughout. Now the instrument cluster in this car is really cool. It's a 12.3 inch TFT thin film transistor screen, and it's fully configurable. So as you can see here, the car is off, but you have the rev counter there. But when you're driving, let's say you're on a road trip, you can display the navigation system all throughout this center portion here, and then your speed and rev information will be moved over to the side. So it's fully configurable, and that's really a cool feature about the Lamborghini Huracan. Now the Lamborghini Huracan uses technology borrowed from the aerospace industry called piattaforma inerziale. It incorporates the use of 3 accelerometers and 3 gyroscopes that measure acceleration from front to back, side to side, up and down, and then roll, pitch, and yaw. Now briefly covering the door panel, you're getting smooth black leather on the top with Alcantara inserts and contrast red stitching throughout. And there's also a little bit of storage here. You have a door handle here, your unlock and lock buttons, and controls for your side view mirrors. Now let's start up that naturally aspirated 5.2 liter V10 of the Lamborghini Huracan and hear how that exhaust note sounds. Well, that was a brief tour of the 2015 Lamborghini Huracan. What an amazing car. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.